So we have 42, and it's going to be going into 820. Now, I know that 42, if I say 2 times, it's going to end up being 84, which is going to be too much. So our only other option is 1. 1 times 42 would be 40. Now, which is less than my divisor, so it is okay. Now I bring down my 0. Now I need to figure out how many times 42 can go into 100. Now I know that for every 100, I have 4 hundreds here. One of these each represents 100. I know 40 can go into 100 2 times. So 2, 2, 2, and 2. So that's a total of 20, 40, 60, 80. But I also know that I'm going to have extra, so I'm going to go ahead and just try 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 1 more is 37. And I'm going to have to borrow. So now I end up with 22. And it is okay to, I have no other digits to bring down, so now it is a remainder of 22, which is less than my divisor. For the next one, I have 56, and it's going to go into 908. What's this? So I'm going to take my 56, and it can go into my first 2. I know that it can go into there 1 time. 2 times would be over 100, and that wouldn't work. So we're going to do 1 times 56. A remainder of 34, which is less than 56. Now I'm going to bring down my next digit, and now I have 348. I know that 56 is close to 60, so let's just think of this as 60. Now I need to think about what would the closest multiple be for a 6. I know that 6 times 6 would be 36, and that's probably going to be too much. So I'm going to say 6 times 5 is 30, so I'm going to try 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 3 more is 28. And this would be 68. Now I ended up with a remainder that is more than my divisor, so I know that this number can make another, I can get another group out of this. So I'm going to go back, and it is okay to not choose correctly the first time. So I need to put it in 1 more time, so I'm going to say it goes in 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 3 more is 33. And now I'm going to take, and I'm going to have a remainder of 12. Alright, now let's look at our word problem. It says, when dividing by 878 by 31, a student finds a quotient, which is the answer, with a remainder of 11. Check the student's work and use the check to find the error in the problem. So I'm just going to set it up. And I need to end up with 28 and a remainder of 11. 31 can go into 87. I'm going to say this is about 30, and this is about, I'm going to say 80, because I don't want to say 90, because I know that would be too much. So I'm going to say 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And I'm going to have a remainder of 25, which is fine. The next step is to bring down my 8. Now this is about 30. Now I need to think, what would the closest multiple be? It would probably be 24, and I know 3 can go into 24 8 times, so I'm going to try 8. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. And I end up with a remainder of 10. So the error in this solution is they were off by 1 in their remainder. A baker was going to arrange 432 desserts in rows of 28. The baker divides 432 by 28 and gets a quotient of 15 and a remainder of 12. Explain what the quotient and remainder represent. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of write my information down. I have 432, and they're going to be putting them in rows. So baker's going to be having rows, and on each row there's going to be 28 on a row. The cupcakes are going to be set up. So I think I need to figure out if I have 28 on a row and I have a total of 432, I'm finding out how many rows there are. So I'm going to take 28 and then I'm going to see how many groups I can get out of 432. So I see that 28 can go into my first 2 digits. I know that it can't go more than twice because this is almost 30. So if this was about 2, it would end up being about 60. So I'm only left with 1. 1 times 28. Okay, and I have a difference here of 5. And so 15, which is less than my divisor. Now I'm going to bring down my 2. I know 28 is about 30, and I'm going to say this is about, this would be 15, so I know that 30 can go into 150 about 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 more is 14. And I have a remainder of 12. So I have 15 rows with 28 desserts on each row. The remainder of 12 represents how many I'm going to have left over. They're not going to be able to fit on a row. So I have 28 desserts on each row, and I have 15 rows. 12, I couldn't make a whole 28 to put on a row, so maybe these remainder are just going to have to be put on, smushed onto the other rows.